I am doing something that I have not done since before COVID, and that is riding Skyline Drive in Virginia. Skyline Drive is a scenic national highway. It is a 110-mile northern extension of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Blue Ridge Parkway, of course, runs 500 miles from kind of central Virginia, north central Virginia, to North Carolina. It's all national park. Most of the land was bought in the 20th century with funding from John Rockefeller. So what that means is you have kind of 600 miles of road here that basically runs along the ridge of the Blue Ridge. And since you're in a national park, there's no commercial traffic, very, very few restaurants and stores, only a handful. Very limited intersections, so sometimes you go 15-20 miles without getting on and off. But it is a really, really gorgeous place. One of the disadvantages of Skyline, I mean, in addition to the fact that it can get a little crowded, and in fact I would never come down here like during the leaf season in the fall because it becomes bumper to bumper, but it is a 35-mile speed limit the whole time here. And I actually got pulled and was given a warning in a motorcycle once here, so I'm pretty careful about the speed limit. The Blue Ridge Parkway itself, the speed limit most of the way is 45, but it is 35 here, so it's just a leisurely, really scenic drive. Scenic overlooks all over the place, so it's a lot of fun. I'm only riding about the northern half of it today because to do the whole thing would take me so far south. It's really hard to do in one day. The route that I have planned for today will be about 380 miles, so it will be the most ambitious ride that I've done for a few years. Basically, I spend the first hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes taking I-81, the interstate, from Carlisle down to Front Royal, Virginia. Interstate's not a whole lot of fun, but it's not too bad on my motorcycle because I have things like adaptive cruise control and electric windshield and Apple Music and FM radio, and if I wanted a phone being pumped into my helmet, so it's, you know, I just lean back and cruise. But the highlight of the day will be this, you know, the couple of hours that I spend riding on Skyline Drive. Then what I'll do after I get off of Skyline Drive, I'll cut back to the west a little bit, kind of go through some mountainous rural Virginia roads, then eventually cut back, pick up Route 15 and take that back to Carlisle. One thing I've learned in my experience riding Skyline Drive is it's probably a good thing that the speed limit is 35, because the place is chock-a-block full of animals. Since it's a national park, there's no hunting, so I don't think I've ever ridden it and not seen deer, and I have seen bear and other things as well. Today was also the first time that I had an opportunity to use my brand new senior lifetime National Park Pass. Hey, another one of my own tribesmen. That was a BMW GS there. He was stretching his legs, so he must have been riding for a way. Skyline Drive, there is a park fee. I haven't kept up with it lately, but it used to be like 18-20 bucks for a motorcycle, which is a little steep since you pay the same entry fee whether you go 10 miles or the whole 110 miles. But I finally broke down and got a lifetime senior pass, which, you know, of course will get me into basically any national park. There aren't as many in the east as there are out west, but you know, I should find some ways to use it. Nice view there. It's still a little hazy. It's early in the morning. I suspect by the afternoon the views will be a lot more impressive. I think I'll shoot 15 or 20 minutes of video, then pull off and take the camera off, because I mean, basically it's the road is like this with these wonderful overlooks for, you know, the whole 110 miles. I will stop at a store and lodge run by the Park Service called Big Meadows. Although I don't know if it ever happened, but Brian and I were talking about going for a motorcycle ride at some point in time, and I'd love to bring him down here and spend the night at the kind of rustic lodge at Big Meadows. Okay, bicycle, get her in the right. I'll be nice if you'll be nice. I did have one of my closest deer encounters up here. This is some years ago, and I'm usually really watchful for deer, but I came around a blind curve. There was a big buck right in the middle of the road, and because of the way the road slanted, he like couldn't just immediately jump off the road, so he started running down the road the same way I was going, and I was trying to scrub off speed, and I was close enough that I could hear his hooves on the pavement. Also saw some yutzes here at a parking lot, like trying to go up and give food to a baby bear, and I like stopped and told them that's a bad idea, because wherever there's a bear cub, there's a watchful mother not far away. So you should stay away from all bears, but particularly baby bears. Okay, the guy on the bicycle is like irked that I'm holding him up, but I'm going the speed limit. He's just going fast because he's going downhill. Once we get down here, we'll start going up again, and he won't be going so fast. A lot of people on here today. I particularly like to come in like on a weekday in the spring or in the fall before it's peak leaf season, and you know, often there won't be hardly anybody here, but weekends in the summer and foliage season, it's a little busy. Wow, a lot more bicycles than I used to see here. All right, we're going uphill, so the bicyclist ain't going to be on my tail anymore. About 72 degrees now, which is fantastic. It was 56 when I left Carlisle this morning, so I actually had to wear lined gloves and 2 mid layers, a merino wool and a synthetic, which is extremely unusual to have to bundle up that much. I mean, just a few days before summer begins. But it is supposed to be in the upper 80s by the afternoon, so I'll be taking stuff off by then. I apologize for my voice. I mean, not very good normally, but right now there's something down here that has set my allergies off, so I'm kind of trying to talk through that. I guess this is a question of there's some kind of different pollen down here than there is in Carlisle, so it cause my allergies to flare up. I had one huge adventure when I tried to come down here once, where there was just like devastating thunderstorms the night before when I was staying at a hotel in Front Royal. Knocked electricity off for large parts of western Virginia and eastern North Carolina. Won't go into a lot of detail on that, but I have the whole story on my motorcycle blog. Okay, people, you should not be riding 3 abreast. If this were on a normal road, I mean, I bicycle for a long time. I'm usually extraordinarily careful and respectful for motorcyclists. I mean, if I've got a clear view, I'll move all the way over in the other lane to avoid them. But on the other hand, they should not be going uphill 2 and 3 abreast like that. That's just rude. It's a shame that it's so hazy. It's gonna degrade my video. So if you watch this, Brian, could you see yourself doing 110 miles of this? We could even do a 2 or 3 day trip where we do the Virginia section of the Blue Ridge Parkway. I've done that a number of times. And stay in a town called Galax in southwestern Virginia, then cut back the next day through West Virginia. It's a nice kind of 3-night, 3-day trip. It's a shame. You got a beautiful view of the valley up here, a nice overlook, but it's so hazy. I think I'll go to one more overlook and stop the video. A lot of the work building this was during the Depression, when there were, like 25% of the people in the U.S. were out of jobs. So the government under Franklin Roosevelt formed something called the WPA to hire people and have them do kind of like infrastructure building projects. So at least, they had some means of a livelihood. So you had lots of those crews were up here basically building this road. Okay, I think I'm going to pull off here and just turn the camera off, but I'll leave it mounted and then just punch the button later and turn it back on. So this is what we're looking at.